Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Quakes Exclusive. Coming up on today's show, we'll explain how Jackson Yueill has elevated his game this season. Plus, we'll show you how the Earthquakes are getting ready for a big matchup against LAFC this weekend, and we'll break down how the Quakes can break down one of the stingiest defenses in MLS. Welcome into Studio 74 at PayPal Park. Alongside the former Earthquakes midfielder Chris Dangerfield and World Cup reporter Carlos Yustis, I'm Kylen Mills. The San Jose Earthquakes played Austin FC to a 2-2 draw in the Lone Star State. They came home with a point, but it feels like it could have been three because they held the lead twice. Carlos, what were the biggest storylines from this match?
I think the biggest storyline is that it's another very good performance by the team in general terms. You go up twice with really good goals. Unfortunately, to me, the difference between being a true contender to be MLS champion and being a playoff team, which is where the Quakes sit right now, is to be able to put these games away and be able to put these teams away at their turf. And unfortunately, it hasn't happened in the season. And it sometimes feels like the Quakes are just right there to go over the line and be able to get that result. But, I mean, after all, you actually get a tie, you still bring a point, but it's just missing that little edge to be to the next level.
I have to agree, Carlos. It was another good performance on the road, a tough place to play. Austin FC have a great atmosphere. They're proven winner last season at home. And so to go to their turf and put a good performance in, the team definitely needs to hold on to those leads, and we will talk about that. But I thought another really strong performance by Cristian Espinosa and also a great performance by Jackson Yueill.
Speaking of Jackson Yueill, the Earthquakes captain had a fantastic performance. He got on the score sheet first with an absolute banger in the 21st minute. Now, Yueill has previously played a strict defensive midfield role for this team. This season, he slid up into an 8 position in that midfield triangle. How has that helped Jackson Yueill elevate his game?
Well, absolutely, it's been key because I think, and I talk about it at the beginning of the season, getting Carlos Grueso, it's kind of like getting 2 players for the price of 1. And what I mean by that is that by liberating Jackson from those defensive responsibilities that has not been really his forte throughout his career, you're actually letting him step in places where he can make a difference. And you saw it there. Cristian Espinosa goes out wide, they leave a space, he takes that space, and then he has a fantastic shot with both legs. He cuts in, puts it in the upper corner. And I got to talk to Jackson a little bit during the break for the national team about it, how he's feeling and how motivated he is from this call-up, from being able to have those spaces. And he says that it's that midfield combo of having Grueso and Monteiro with him that is allowing him to play at the level that he wants to.
Unfortunately, Austin was able to equalize just before half. Emiliano Rigoni put one in the back of the net to tie things up at 1 apiece. No surprise, it was Cristian Espinosa who put the Earthquakes back on top in the 75th minute. A beautiful cross played into Jeremy Ebobisse, who headed it home. Espinosa having such a fantastic season. How did he impact this game on both sides?
Well, as you mentioned, Kylen, everything seems to be going through Cristian Espinosa right now. And even when he's not directly involved, there's that Espinosa factor that seems to be there. On Jackson Yueill's goal, you can see where initially Cristian Espinosa gets the cross in, Monteiro gets the shot, it goes back out to Acalpo. As Acalpo was on the ball, you can see 2 Austin defenders expecting the ball to go back out to Cristian Espinosa, but when it doesn't, that creates a space for Jackson Yueill. Jackson has a lot of time, but he does a fantastic job at getting that left-footed shot off to the top corner. On the second goal, it's that combination, once again, of Jackson Yueill and Grueso winning the ball that Luchi talked about, those interceptions and those tackles in the midfield that the team did so well with. But they win the ball in that midfield area. As soon as they do, Espinosa's off. And it's a great ball from Grueso to find Cristian Espinosa. And once again, he picks out the perfect pass. It's a good finish by Jeremy Ebobisse, but it's created once again by Espinosa. And he just seems to be the key player, not only for the Quakes offensively, but he's doing that job as a designated player, as a defender as well. Late in the game, it's 86 minutes into the game, and he's chasing back and doing defensive work for the team. Just an overall performance, a great performance from a designated player so far this season.
Austin once again able to equalize, unfortunately, just 3 minutes after the Quakes scored that 75th minute goal. It was Sebastian Driussi who was able to put one in the back of the net. Carlos, what areas of improvement did you see for the Earthquakes defense?
Well, when you see that the Earthquakes defense has been so solid at home, and then they go on the road and they let these goals in, and especially the way those steal goals happen, because this is two really long balls that get played into the box. And there's no challenge for it. There's a couple of times that even the reaction towards it is a little late. You get caught ball watching, and when you're on the road, you have to be paying attention to those details. And I think that's the one thing that the Earthquakes have been missing on these away games, that it doesn't seem like the same crispness in defense that they have overall at home translates away. However, what's also strange is that they actually had a good defensive performance. They give up 2 goals in 2 chances. So those key moments are key.
The Earthquakes take the point heading into their biggest match yet of the season, hosting LAFC at Levi Stadium, the home of the San Francisco 49ers. More than 40,000 fans are expected to pack the house for this top 5 Western Conference showdown. The Quakes got to practice out at Levi's earlier this week. I went out there to find out how the team's getting ready for this marquee matchup. We are out here at Levi Stadium, and I am joined now by Earthquakes midfielder Tommy Thompson. Tommy, LAFC comes in off a 3-0 victory over Philadelphia in CONCACAF Champions play. You know how tough this matchup is going to be. What has the preparation been like in practice?
Yeah, it's been good so far. LAFC is a great team, but those are the teams that we want to play against. So to have the opportunity to play at Levi Stadium against high-level competition, these are the nights you dream about. So we're excited to get things going on Saturday.
LAFC also plays a 4-3-3. They hold a high line but are pretty compact defensively. How do you separate yourselves against an opponent that has some similar tactics?
Yeah, there's no doubt that LAFC is a talented team. We saw it all last year, saw it this year as well. But we have weapons of our own, and so we're going to focus on our game. We're playing at home, so we're going to want to put them on the back foot early. And then we just got to make sure we connect our passes and put guys in positions to score.
More than 40,000 fans are going to pack this stadium. You've played here before. What are you looking forward to most in terms of the environment on Saturday?
Yeah, I can't wait. Levi Stadium's a great venue. We haven't played here since 2018 when we played Manchester United here. So to be back on this field again for the first time in 5 years, it's a special feeling. And to know that at least 40,000 people are going to be coming to support us is something that we're all really excited about.
Awesome. Tommy, thank you so much. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, no problem.
The defending MLS Cup champions come to town as the only remaining undefeated team in the league. Their defense has been outstanding. LAFC has only given up 6 goals through 8 matches. What has been the difference defensively this season, Danger?
Well, Aaron Long is part of a very experienced spine of the team, Carlos, who talk about that spine being very important. But it starts with the goalkeeper, John McCarthy, who was MLS MVP in the championship game last season. Alongside Aaron Long, you've got Jesus Murillo, the Colombian. In front of them, you've got Kellen Acosta, the US international, alongside Ili Sanchez from Barcelona B. A fantastic little combination there. And what they do as a spine is they give those stars up front, the Boangas and the Vea, just freedom to play. And Aaron Long is a very important part of that.
To your point about Denny Bouanga, he is putting together an outstanding season. Bouanga has scored 7 goals, added 2 assists through MLS play for LAFC. How has Bouanga really invigorated this attack?
Well, the first thing they needed to do was basically find a replacement to what Chicho Arango was last season. He was fantastic with LAFC, one of the key roles to why they were able to be MLS champions. When he leaves to Pachuca, he leaves that space, and now when Dennis Bouanga comes in, and he doesn't skip a beat. It's like he's always played there. He has an immediate impact. He's a fast player. He can finish with both feet. That constantly finds the back of the defenders. And for the Quakes, that's going to be very important. Don't let him run behind you and find you in space, and don't give him any one-on-one opportunities.
There's going to be some extra motivation for the Earthquakes facing Southern California rivals, and the Quakes always seem to rise to the occasion. They took down LAFC 2-1 last year here at PayPal Park. Danger, how do you expect this big crowd to help this Earthquakes team?
Well, the crowd is going to be a very big part of it, and it's up to the players, the Quakes players, to get the crowd motivated and involved in the game. As a player, you look forward to these games. When you're playing the top team in the league, the MLS champions, with star players like Boanga and obviously Carlos Vela, you know, you're going to get up for that. So you need to bring that crowd into the game as quickly as possible and get everybody excited about the game.
Beyond the game, there's going to be a lot of festivities going on around Levi Stadium. This is the biggest Cinco de Mayo party in the Bay Area. Carlos, what can fans look forward to on Saturday?
Well, of course, besides the amazing game that they're going to bring them, hopefully, this weekend, the Quakes have prepared a lot of activities for the fans, starting with a Q&A session with former Mexican internationals Jared Borghetti and Misael Espinosa. And then during halftime, we're going to have a performance by El Fantasma, which also will be another interview that I will be conducting. So I'm really excited to be part of it, and obviously come hang out with us on Saturday.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, Carlos, what's one key to the game for you?
I mean, I have to say it has to be Carlos Vela. We haven't talked about it throughout here, but he's still the key component to that team. He's still the star. He's the player that he brought to bring this franchise around him, and he still has all the quality in the world to make a difference. So you give Carlos Vela just this much of a space, he's going to make you pay for it. So he's going to have to definitely be a key of the game.
Danger, what do you got? Key to the game?
It's that 12th man, you know. I think that it's very important for the Quakes to get a very fast start, an aggressive start into this game, and make sure they bring the crowd into this game. LAFC have played a very tough game on Tuesday as the semi-final of the CONCACAF Champions League against Philadelphia Union. Maybe they're a little bit tired. Don't give them a chance to get into the game. Just get that fast, aggressive start and bring Levi Stadium alive.
The Earthquakes have to be clinical in the final third. Facing one of the stingiest defenses in MLS, they may not get a lot of chances. That means they have to make the most of the ones they create. So many times this season, the Earthquakes have done a fantastic job of building up, creating space in the attack, creating clean looks on goal. It's just that last execution on the finish that hasn't been there. In this match, they cannot afford to make any mistakes in and around the goal. The Earthquakes take on LAFC coming up on Saturday, 4:30 Pacific time is kickoff at Levi Stadium. It is going to be a fun one. If you can't be there in person, be sure to watch that match right here on Apple TV's MLS Season Pass. Thanks so much for hanging out with us here on Quakes Exclusive. We'll see you next week.